Good day everyone. This is our sixth session and my name is Alma May Pilangreo and his name is
Lawrence B. Aguilar, grade 6 student. I'm from Rangayan, Angadanan, Isabela. I'm 11 years old.
Okay. So, ang gagawin mo lang ngayon is magbabasa. So, umpisahan mo na.
The Singa sang Nilaw Tama, an imaginative, adventurous king was restless by nature and wanted to travel to faraway places. He loved hunting wild animals, so when he heard that there were stags in the jungles of Tanjung Bentam which were not easy to hunt, he was excited and took with him a great fleet of ships to Tanjung Bentam. When the king arrived upon this land, his subject had a hunting expedition that lasted several hours, slaying many wild and savage beasts, but no stags. This disappointed the king, for he had a sense of unfulfillment in his heart. Suddenly, a large stag darted out of the bush into front of Sang-Nila Utama, giving the king a shock. But the king drew this silver dagger and hurled it at the stag, only grazing the animal. The stag began to run, and the king pursued it. In those days, it was either your feet or nothing. The stag ran through the jungle and dirt up and all. The king followed the stag up the hill, but upon reaching the summit, the stag was nowhere to be seen. There was a large rock, so the king climbed it, the land, and sea spread out around him. In the distance, he saw a stretch of white sand on his land. Sang-Nila Utama was fascinated by the sight of this land. He turned to one of his subjects who had followed him. What is the name of this land? That is land. The subject looked into the distance and smiled. That is Temasek, your highest. Then we are going there. The king ordered his fleet to set sail, and they began on their journey towards this land. Suddenly, the once clear blue skies were covered with black clouds. Heavy rains poured from them, and strong bursts of wind threatened to tear and ships apart. The ship carrying Sang-Nila Utama was in the very eye of the storm. The crew lowered the sail, started to bail the water from the ships, and get most of the cargo for jettisoning. However, an idea came to the king's head. He remembered a story his grandfather told him of how one of his ancestors became the sea king, and his crown was the only thing which belonged to his ancestor. He removed his crown immediately and threw into the sea. All at once the storm broke suddenly as it started. The skies began to clear, and the crew gave a shout of joy and set sail once more to the island of Tesamasek. When the king stepped upon the land, a creature stepped out of nowhere, and the king and his men were awestruck by the magnificent creature. It was large and moved with grace, had a black head covered in a foreign mane, a whitish neck, and a red boy. When the king drew his bow and arrow, the beast stared back at him with golden eyes and let out a deafening roar. before leaping into the jungle. What sort of animal was that? The king asked. A wise old man stepped forth. I have seen animal in portraits from the far west. Perhaps this is a singa, but I wonder how it got all the way here. This must be a great place if it breeds such a beautiful animal. Let us live here on the island of Singapore.
So, thank you and thank you very much and magkikita ulit tayo sa 7th session. So, thank you very much. See you.